All right, let's get started here. So this video is going to be the first in a very long and ongoing series that I'm going to be putting out, and relatively short videos, but this is pretty much a intro video of what I did, or rather the steps I took. I can't believe I'm saying this, but about 19 months ago, I left my doctor's office after a horrifying bad MRI that I had that was totally unrelated to my kidneys. It was for a liver cyst, to make sure the cyst wasn't cancerous on my liver. And then it was discovered that my kidneys had grown significantly with hundreds of cysts. Well, after a course of 17, 18 months, my kidneys have reversed in size. The cysts have drained of fluid. Yes, I still have polycystic kidney disease. This is not a cure, but then again, I was 35 at the time, back in May of 2024. I'm 37 now. I was looking at kidney failure in my mid-40s, so 44, 45. Well, that's not happening, because as long as these cysts do not grow, then I won't be going into renal failure, kidney failure. It's that plain and simple. If you have polycystic kidney disease and you have found this video, please take this information with a grain of salt. Do your own due diligence like I did. Do your own research. I am just a very much a normal human being. Obviously more of a unique background than the typical person. But at the same time, anything that I did not know and anything that you may not know, fact check me in Google. A lot of people don't know how to use the internet, and I don't mean to say this in a disrespectful way. Google is the biggest and greatest search engine. Use it to your advantage. If you don't know something, type it into Google. And a year and a half later, boom, bang. My kidney doctor, my primary care doctor, they can't explain why my kidneys have shrunk. So in this little intro video here, I kind of really want to walk through what I did leaving my doctor's office. May 22nd, 23rd, 2024, I rushed into my doctor's office because my doctor called me after a day after my MRI. If you ever get a phone call the day after your images, it's not good. I raced in, I took a urinalysis, I took a blood test to make sure my kidneys were still functioning. They were, but obviously my kidneys were growing, which is terrible. And I'm also PKD1 tronicating, which is even a worse variant, but yet it has reversed. So the first thing that I did when I got home is I typed in PKD and sugar. And I pretty much just started doing, because for anyone out there that has gone to a doctor's office, the only thing that you're really told about polycystic kidney disease is that avoid high sodium food, aka processed food. Obviously, desserts and all stuff does terribleness for you and your disease. But ultimately, your kidneys are going to grow and there's really nothing you can do about it, right? Sure, you can, control your blood pressure. You can go ahead and watch, your sodium intake, the processed food. But there's so much information, and that is really just like the tip of the iceberg. Because the iceberg is a ugly, gigantic thing. And it is a sugary iceberg. So the first thing I did when I got home is I typed in onto Google PKD and sugar, and I got a lot of really good information. PKD cysts actively absorb glucose, blood sugar, causing them to swell and grow, which can accelerate kidney dysfunction. So when you go ahead and consume sugar, for 2.5 years, what I was doing is I was eating a lot of sugar in the morning on an empty stomach, which creates a massive blood sugar spike. Glucose. Blood sugar is glucose. And the massive blood sugar spike creates an abundance of blood sugar in your body. And the cysts are going to absorb all this blood sugar and they're going to grow. The more you spike your blood sugar and the higher it goes, the faster the progression is going to spread. But there is good news, because if you remove the sugar, the cysts can go ahead and shrink, which is scientifically really, it's not really proven, but we're seeing more and more people, and I'm not the only one. We're going to be talking about other people on here as well, too. So this was the first thing that I did. I typed this into Google. I went to my refrigerator with a trash bag, and I threw out everything. Everything. It sucked because my MRI was on a Tuesday. I went food shopping 3 days prior, and I had to throw out legitimately probably about $250 worth of groceries. It was all sugar and carbs of what I was buying, which is terrible. So I hate to be like the nut kicker in this situation. If you have this disease, it's the sugar and it's the carbs, and I understand we all have our favorite things, but you can still enjoy a afternoon coffee beverage. Cheers. Instead of some sugar afternoon coffee, you can go ahead and make black coffee. You can go ahead and add some heavy cream. I mean, you can actually make some homemade real pumpkin coffee if you want. There is a substitute for every single favorite item that you may like. So the first thing I did was type this into Google, and it brought me up on a whole wide range of articles. And the first article that I came across of was ironically Reversing Polycystic Kidney Disease by University of Santa Barbara, by Santa Barbara Nutrients, Dr. Wimes' laboratory. And I read this article and I said, wow, this makes total sense. Total sense. Every single link that I talk about, every article that I'm going to be discussing in these videos are going to be down below. I'll go ahead and put this article along with another one here that I'm going to get to momentarily as the top pinned comment. You got to be tough, and you got to be strong, and you got to say no to the devil, essentially. Please read this article if you have polycystic kidney disease. It is going to outline just everything. A fasting response. It talks about changing your fuel source from burning blood sugar for energy to ketones. Ketogenic therapy. Obviously, you're probably looking at this channel name saying, hey, Nightmare, you're a carnivore, right? Yes, I am. But guess what? I don't believe everyone should be on a carnivore diet. You can do this as a vegan. Yes, you can. You can do this as a vegetarian. Yes, you can. Vegetarian, essentially, some eggs and some fish. Basically, no, like, and also, I believe vegetarians are cheese. Personally, I don't know. I'm not a vegetarian myself. I've always been a ribeye lover. You can do a standard ketogenic diet, just low carb, no potatoes, pasta, ice cream, stuff like that. Or you could be a carnivore like me and just love some steak and other animal products. But this article is going to define a lot about how sugar plays such a big role in polycystic kidney disease, and how these researchers found out this by doing an experiment back in 2019. And you would think this would be very well-known stuff, right? Very well-known. Well, for the last 6 years, this has been deemed as really pseudoscience. So here is another good case summary article. The screen is a little bit messed up here, but the link is down below. Summary, mild food reduction intake was recently shown to slow polycystic kidney disease in mouse models. Okay, so why does a food reduction slow down the progression? Because your body is going to be in a fat-burning state. But here's the thing. For the last year and a half, I have really not starved my body at all of food. I eat thousands and thousands of calories per day. But every single day, my body does not burn blood sugar, it burns ketones. There's a really big difference. I also do not spike my insulin every single day. I also don't spike my blood sugar every day. I don't wake up anymore and I don't eat sugar on an empty stomach. That is going to spike your blood sugar into the hundreds, well beyond 200. I wake up in the morning and I eat typically 6 eggs, couple tablespoons of butter, coffee with couple tablespoons of heavy cream. Typically around 35, 36 grams of protein. That's what I do. Do not copy what I do. Learn your body and see what works for you. But I eat protein. And then I also eat fat. And then I eat very little carbs. The little carbs, aka sugar, it doesn't spike your blood sugar to feed the cysts. And when you go ahead and eat protein and fat, or even have some fiber with some non-starchy veggies, that slows down metabolism and it suppresses the blood sugar spike. It all comes down to sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar. If you have polycystic kidney disease and if you are suffering, you got to look at the sugar. Look at the sugar. You don't got to be a carnivore. You can just do this in multiple different ways. But if you are waking up and you are eating sugary yogurt and eating ice cream, I don't care if the ice cream says keto. There are amazing keto ice cream. And I was eating that crap for the first 2.5 months I was doing this. I had terrible digestion issues. It's not good for you. It's all artificial sweeteners. You can make homemade ice cream, and I'm going to be making videos on how to do that. But in a very short summary, obviously we're over 10 minutes here on this video. If you have stuck along, thanks for watching. When you go ahead and cut out the sugar with this disease, eventually, over time, these cysts are going to revert in size. I myself, I really believe that I got a miracle. Other people that are doing this, that are sticking with it, they see that their total kidney volume has decreased. It is just utterly amazing. The cure, in my opinion, because I have found my cure, it is eating Mother Nature that's been around for 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 years. It's being mobile. I train my body 5-6 times per week. I don't do anything crazy. I used to be an extreme athlete. I am literally lifting dumbbells and going on walks and light jogs. And you will see that you are going to change mTOR activity, which makes the cysts grow. You're going to change that, and the cysts are going to shrink. And then, therefore, you are going to reverse your polycystic kidney disease. But here's the caveat. If you are sitting around with this disease and your kidneys are growing, the longer that you wait to make a change, because you may be fearful about giving up your favorite food, the more damage you are doing to your body. And that is so sad for so many people out there. The amount of people that have taken jabs at me over the last year because they think this is stupid and pseudoscience and they live on ice cream. You want to live on ice cream, you do you. But do not come after me and do not suppress this information from good people. Because there are really a lot of good people that are suffering that are using this method to reverse PKD. So, hopefully this video really sums up sugar intake. And please look at these 2 case articles here. Please dive into them. Please understand them. Comment to this video if you have any questions. Look at all the information. Look at my data. My playlists are going to be on this channel. Look at my interviews that I've done. Do your due diligence. Research. And when you do your due diligence, I don't mean to go and ask your doctor, because your doctor is not going to have access to this new information. This is new metabolical therapy, and honestly, a lot of doctors are against this information because it requires no drugs and it requires you to eat very, very healthy. Thank you all for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all on a new one soon. Later.